Hello, everyone, and blessed be. Um, I'm looking crazy. It just is what it is. And I wanted to do this video kind of to give everybody a heads up on where I've been and what's been going on with me, and to randomly ramble about some of it, but the light side of what's going on, as well as the more serious side of what's going on. First off, I do have the Sacred Crate subscription box that just came in. However, at the moment, I am couch bound. So I have to figure out if there is some way I can actually do a video on it. And then the Goddess Provision box is supposed to show up today, and we'll see if I can figure out a way to do unboxings on that. So first off, I had done a video and then deleted it because I didn't want it to come across the wrong way. Because in this video, I am going to talk about not only an injury that I've recently had, but anxiety that has come along with it, and a couple of acronyms that a doctor's throwing around, and my reaction to them. And at first I wasn't going to do a video. I know I've done another video like this, and I said, oh, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do another video. But you know what? It's just a process. And I thought maybe doing the videos would maybe help somebody else, but also maybe help me through this journey that might severely change my life for a while. It sounds extreme, but I'll just roll with it. So to start off with the injury, September 26th, technically, I guess September 27th, I think it was 3 o'clock in the morning. When I went to sleep, it was Wednesday, so I guess technically it was Thursday. Anyhow, was sleeping, woke up screaming like a banshee in pain. My left knee had dislocated. Don't know how that happened while I was asleep. But it did not go back in. My son had to call 911. They came. For some reason, the EMT said that they are not allowed to put it back in. So I actually had to make the trip in the ambulance to the hospital that way. And when I got to the hospital, they drugged me with pain meds and then had to evaluate the situation, and then had to knock me out to put it back in. And then when I came to, I was in a large leg brace. And basically, because it's the emergency room, they give you a referral to an orthopedic doctor, some crutches, and on you go. So, I immediately started having other problems, anxiety attacks, and things like this. This is the third time in my life that it has happened. This is the most severe. And the last time it happened was 25 years ago. And it took a huge emotional toll on me, because basically it left me disabled for several years, just due to doctors not knowing what to do with the situation. So that was probably part of the problem. So I went and saw the orthopedic doctor. I went in expecting to come out with a treatment plan. Let's handle this. Let's get this taken care of. And that did not happen. Basically, in talking to him and telling him what was going on, he said that that this injury had flared up. I'm using words that he said that I don't necessarily understand. I'm not a doctor or anything like that, so I'm just saying what he said to me. But he said that it has flared up my RSD, which is now called CRPS, I guess, which I was diagnosed with the last time this happened by a bone and joint clinic. And he said because of that, I am not a good candidate for surgery. And he said the good thing is that as you get older, your joints are less likely to dislocate. Again, I'm parroting what he told me, so whatever. But then in talking with some of the other things I have going on emotionally, he said that I am showing signs of PTSD. And that was a jaw dropper for me. I'm like, no. And I've known people with PTSD. I didn't feel worthy of such a diagnosis, even though he wasn't really equipped to diagnose me. He was just talking based on the symptoms. For me, that was for people who have had way bigger situations happen, way more traumatic situations happen. So it wasn't that I was invalidating the term or it being applied to anybody else. I was only invalidating it as it related directly to me, because again, I didn't feel worthy of something like that. And it was just like, this isn't bad enough. That's for people with some really serious things going on. So that kind of thing. But it happened in my bedroom. I can't go back in my bedroom. I'm sleeping maybe 2 to 3 hours a night in spurts. I will fall asleep and just literally from not passing out, like going unconscious, but from being so tired, I pass out and I just shoot awake. Blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, so basically, I did not leave there with a treatment plan. I left there with a referral to see a physical therapist, but told I need to get a primary care doctor and a mental health doctor to help me through the other parts, because right now, nobody can touch my leg. So I'm on crutches. I got this big leg brace on. I am basically on my couch, sleep sitting up, because I can't lay down because that triggers an attack, an anxiety attack. And I am a very strong, very private person. I know I did the other video and now I'm doing this one, so that sounds like hypocritical, but I guess it's part of shadow work, or making myself step out of the comfort zone. But when the anxiety attacks will happen if my leg gets bumped wrong, or if I try to stand up and I lose my balance just a little bit, I go into a complete and utter anxiety attack. I break out in a cold sweat. My vision gets kind of wonky, pure panic, blah, blah, blah. So I spent several days calling doctors, trying to get physical therapists. Physical therapists say I need a specialist. Trying to Google ones that might be, and several people have said to get a primary care doctor that can kind of help orchestrate all of this. And that was kind of challenging, just because most of them said that there'd be 2, 3, 4 month wait to get in to see one. Luckily, the universe aligned and I'm going to get to see one Tuesday. So 4 days, what's today? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 3 days from now. I don't even know what day it is. But then I'm also seeing a mental health doctor next week. And and that's very hard for me. I'm very hypocritical that way. Um, I fully support and rally for and with people who have mental health disorders. I totally do. Again, it was just that I did not feel worthy of those um, possible diagnoses because I felt that they are reserved for people who have more things that you can connect it to, I guess. I don't know. And so in between the anxiety attacks, in between the frustration, in between all that, I'm like, girl, suck it up. Put on your big girl panties. You got to get through this. You're a witch. You're a strong woman. You could do this. And I'm there and I'm making phone calls and I'm doing things. And then my leg moves wrong and I'm a basket case. And have to work through it. I had a pretty bad one last night. My kids have been off the charts amazing. Off the charts amazing. Helping me out, taking care of me, being supportive of me. And I am not used to depending on people. It's another issue. Something else I'm going to have to work through. Again, when it happened 25 years ago, I had the same situation. I became dependent when I am extremely independent. And just for you astrology buffs out there, because I've had plenty of time on my hands, I knew my sun sign was Sagittarius, but I did some other looking, and I found out my moon sign is Aquarius. And, you know, as far as Sagittarius, yeah, I guess in some ways, I'm very Sagittarius. In some ways, most of it didn't really fit. But when I started looking in the moon in Aquarius, it was like, who the heck snuck in my house and is videotaping me when I'm not looking? It was that spot on. So there's that. But then I thought, you know, I gotta find a way to make it through this. When the anxiety attacks happen, I'm a different person. But between those happening, I am still the strong, confident person. I still have the drive to get through this. And I thought that maybe doing the videos would not only selfishly help me in that way, but might help somebody else. Amazing community of witches on YouTube. Sorry, my cat just freaked out. And plus, I'll let you know where I've been, right? So you might see a lot of videos of me with all my pillows behind me because, like I said, this is kind of my my perch at the moment. And again, I do have the Sacred Crate subscription box that I'm going to see if I can somehow manage to unbox for everybody. Maybe. We'll see what happens, right? But there it is. I mean, it's a lot of rambling. It's a lot of acronyms being thrown out that somebody else threw out at me. Now, the RSD, which is now, I guess, referred to as CRPS, I was diagnosed with that 25 years ago by a bone and joint clinic from a big hospital after a lot of testing. But then again, a couple years ago, I had a doctor told me that I don't have that. So it's very confusing. It's very frustrating to have that diagnosis. I'm rather familiar with. And what can happen in there is a lot of doctors will either not want to deal with you or will, you know, all the tests come back fine, everything comes back fine. You're just crazy. Whether they say it flat out or not, that is the underlying tone. And you tend to just give up. Not on yourself, but on treatment, because, you know, person can only get told that so many times, and then you start internalizing it. But I'm I'm going to stop this video now. I'm going to sit here and look at the sacred crate box and try to figure out if there's some way to do an unboxing from my new little world here. But for those of you who do suffer anxiety, or you know somebody who does, find your strength in the times in between the attacks, I guess. Who am I to say? Everybody's different. Everybody's reason is different. But there it is, right? Anyhow, be strong and blessed be.